Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Kuru's Shell. This time around we are going to be upgrading our ships, and just kind of, while we upgrade ships, I'm going to let this, let the time pass, just so that we can kind of move forward once we're finished upgrading into the war. And rebuilding, just sort of, once we finish upgrading, we're going to need resources so that we can complete the upgrades. I don't use many of these gunner class corvettes, and I probably should, because they do a great deal of shield damage, but I'll get to that. I actually have already researched the plasma accelerator, so I should improve all my torch classes too, with better everything. So they need more power. That's good. And this is going to be shield plating, so I'm just gonna get these guys a little bit more. And that's not a lot; it's only 5%. Once I do that tech, study the tech that gives us. Oops, I forgot about shields. My bad. We're gonna need a little bit more power now. There we go.
Construction complete.
Once I get the self-repair tech, what's it called again? I forgot what it's called. It's like regenerative hull tissue. Once we get that, and it's probably going to be my next bit of research study, because most of that tech's already been researched, so it's only going to probably take like a couple months, like maybe like 6 months if that, to finish this research. So that's going to be my unless something amazing comes up, like habitability again, or extending the lives of our scientists or our leaders again, something like that comes up. I'm gonna get that tech so that all of my ships can repair themselves while they're out of the dock. I don't have to spend so many resources anymore. I'm taking care of things like that. I'm just gonna boost these guys' shields too, because all of my ships' shields have to be as well-to-do as possible, so that they're not getting blown up as quickly. It's not taking as much hull damage. And I'm also going to give these guys this arm, just give them a little bit more hull. And it's not a lot, it's like 15 more, but that's, sometimes that extra like 15 can make a difference. Dagger classes, this is gonna increase our fleet power quite significantly, because most of my ships are lasers, are the dagger class, or the scabbard class, or the let's see, what is the other one kind, gladius class, or the katana class. So most of those are laser focused. So you can see that's I have a lot of ship classes too, and you might wonder why, but I like to have different ships specialized for different things. It's just gives you more options, and different enemies have different strengths, and so you require different weapons for different enemies. And depending on who we fight as our in-game combat, there's a species that's very strong in armor, so you need a lot of like fire weapons and armored penetration weapons. And another species is dimensional species, when you need more laser, like energy focused weapons. I think I can't remember honestly. With that species, but disruptor classes, wow, I just made a whole bunch of those, or I'm making a bunch of those, and I'm gonna have to upgrade them right after building them, but whatever. And they're gonna have a little bit more bite now. And see, the siphon class only had like a plus 100% shield damage. These have plus 200% shield damage, and at this point these guys are doing significantly more damage than those things, so I'm pretty much going to delete the siphon class, and they're not going to be they're not going to be anything anymore. I don't need those anymore. I think I might have forgotten about the shields and the others. Other ship type again. Let me look back at that. On the what type did I do before those? Okay, so I'm just going to delete the Siphon class by Siphon class. This is one less ship class to worry about. Yes, I forgot to improve the shields on the Dagger class, which is really important because again they are the prime. Oops, my bad. That was the wrong thing. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna need the antimatter for that anyway. So. We're maxed out on these. Actually, I can probably max out the sensors too. So these are things to think about. I took too long going between ships, and I took too long between upgrading things like upgrading my sensors. I have to upgrade those. I have to upgrade everything else. I don't actually need to do that. I can just bump up this one, bump up this one. Then I can give myself some more shields. Boom, there we go. Whoa, okay, maybe not. Oh, okay, it gave me armor. That's what it was that changed it. You know what? I'm just gonna go back. Because when I did the autocomplete, it changed this whole thing around, and it threw it off. So I'm just gonna go back over here. Sometimes I have a specific way I like to do things. I don't really give my Corvettes a lot of armor because it's so minimal that it's pointless for me. I really give them better shields than give them more armor because it doesn't really. You'll give them like a little bit of armor and it'll boost up to like 6% armor, and for me 6% armor is barely anything. It doesn't help us much at all. So I'm just gonna bump this up here. There we go. More shields, a little bit more power here. So better weapons, better sensors, and see, this is done here. Make sure that they're all good. All of them have better weapons, better shields. And I'll have to go back here to all these other ones and boost the sensors. Alright. Yeah, I forgot about the sensors. Whoever's watching this is like, you forgot the sensors! Whoever it was that thought that, someone thought that strongly enough for me to realize that I forgot the sensors. I'm just assuming that we're all capable of sending each other subliminal messages through psychic channels when I say that. But please don't, actually, because some of that's some people think really creepy, weird things. I don't want your thoughts in my head. No, I'm kidding. Launcher class has been relatively useless for me, but with an improvement to their to the weapon tech, I might actually use them again. Or they might actually be more effective, because I've seen some of my destroyers are still destroyer classes. I mean, not destroyer class, but launcher class. Let's see, so I'm just going to bump up this, and great. And bump that up, bump that up, bump this up. Great. Now, I'm kind of split on whether or not I'm going to do this much with I'm almost tempted to do armor for the ship, because destroyers are a bit more combat oriented. If I did bump up their armor, that would give me so that's 23%. Okay, so I can do that. And they would also those ships would cost less as far as energy, and that's good. This is a fairly decent build. So I like to not have too much excess power, because excess power requires increased maintenance, and I don't want to affect our economy with a lot of excess power, because that drains us very, very quickly. And that reduces the amount of ships that we can actually have under our command. And right now, this looks like a lot. This looks like 94 credits. Ooh, nice. But once we actually leave spaceport, that maintenance cost really ramps up, because when they're not moving, they're not going to cost anything. But when they start moving around and start fighting, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, especially when they start traveling from wormhole to wormhole. So that's that there. So I'll try to reduce the amount of power cost as much as I can. This is the Scour class. Boosted to gamma lasers now. I'm going to, let's see, shields. I might just change this around a little bit. This there. I'm going to do one of each. This here, and armor here. And then the rest of this is probably just going to be energy. 1, 2, 3, and I guess 4. So I lost a little bit of shields there, so I'm kind of hesitant. I kind of wonder if it might have been better if I didn't do that with shields. What I might do instead is just let's see, shields. I want to make this a really balanced ship type, because I do want to give them armor, and I can't seem to do that at this point. I mean, I've got 280 shields, so maybe I was right in my other previous choice of route of actions. Actually, okay, that's even, so I can give us armor right there too. There we go. So we've got a little bit more armor, 27. Shields isn't as high as it was before. I'm tempted to just back out and see what I had before. So this wasn't that much of a difference. Shields would go from 180 back to down to 140. I'm not gonna do that. Because I don't want to reduce our shields. What I'll end up doing is this. Give us shields right here. Give us a little bit more right here, as far as the energy, and then I'll take away one of these shields and give us armor. There we go. Armor here, and bump up this shield, and so now I've got a fair amount of armor and a fair amount of shields. I'm creating a little bit excess power, so I can drop this down to, say, that. So +5 isn't so bad. A little bit of excess power will go towards bumping up. There you go, right there. Oops, I've forgotten about this. Second thought, this is going to go right back to being this. Oh. I guess I can only do a little bit of armor, but it's better than nothing. I still get better shields. I still get a little bit, better or something. Still got a nice amount of. I get better shields. I get a little bit of armor, and I get more power and more laser strength. Defenders, I get gamma lasers, and better sensors, a little bit more power. Power here. Bump up this. Bump up this. Bump up this. I'm considering maybe with this ship I might be able to afford to give them better armor. And put this here. There we go. And give them a little bit better armor again. Or maybe bump up. I think that might be enough armor. And push this up to this. So they've got like 350 shields. They've got 23% armor. They've got better weapons right here. I'll bump these up with that research that's kind of waiting around for me to utilize. And we're good. We're good on that ship type. I'm just gonna make sure I actually activated the. It's taking a little bit more time to upgrade this than I thought it would. And I actually have the had it paused this whole time, so I'm a little upset with myself for that, because one of the reasons I was doing this was so that while that was happening, I was restoring my resources. But you're probably watching that too, like, Antoine, you forgot to you still have it on pause. Eh, what can you do? My bad. And boom, and then bump this up. Maybe I don't need that. Nope. So instead, I'll give us a little bit more armor. And so we've got a nice amount of shields, nice amount of armor, a little bit of armor.
Construction complete.
Do I want to give them? No. If I give them more shields, then it will cost more power. And I'm researching that power tank. So pretty soon, I'll bump this up, and then I can get rid of. I can get a little bit more shields, but I really do want to bump up our armor too. I'm just gonna make sure that I gave my last defender class one of these. I didn't bump up their hull, so I'll save that. So anything else I forgot on the launcher class here that has it? I want to get the crystal forge on all of my ships until I get the tech that repairs our
construction complete.
Better. At least it makes it easier for me to see what goes where. Gotta make sure that they all have that, so they get a little bit more a few more hull points. This skivered. This. Oh, okay. Actually, I did all of that, and I didn't actually boost our weapons. My bad. So this extra armor is no longer useful because I need a little bit more power. But I mean, they've got 23%, so I'm just gonna settle for 23% for now for armor. That gives us a little bit of defense against our enemies. So that storm class is there. Now I move on to cruisers. Cruisers, the storm class cruiser. I'm just gonna do this, and this, and bump up sensors. And now I move on to the bottom. Now that I've done all this stuff, now I can move to here. Sometimes I get so focused on this that I just trying to balance things out. Alright, so let's see, we have energy galore. So this is bumped up first, this is bumped up first. I give these guys so much shields, and I do want to give them armor, because they need it, because they're at the front lines. So I want to give them a bump up that like that, and then I can bump up shields here, shields here, shields here, and I still come up on top, so that's good. That's really good. And I might even be able to get rid of this guy. Yep. And get more armor or more shields. What do I do? More armor or more shields? This is 43%. If I do more shields, how much does this cost? Medium. Power usage 20. That would be perfect. And because this class is designed to kind of cut through shields and armor, and so giving them 700 shields.
Debris analyzed.
That's pretty hardcore. I mean, they'll last in battle really well, as assuming that we're going against an enemy that isn't that's very like laser focused. But actually, I like this. So I'm gonna leave it like that. That little bit of armor helped. So let's see, machine gun, boom. This up, and bump this up. There we go. Now I can again bump up our shields, and that kind of evens that out. And that's right. This, improve this, and I think that kind of balances that out there. So I'm just going to reduce this to this. Maybe not. There we go. Now that's pretty even. I'm just going to give them a little bit more crystal infused, so it's going to increase our hull points. And having done that, I realized that I did forget that with the Storm class. I didn't give them this. I'm kind of in a rush. I'm trying to get through as many of these as possible before this episode comes to an end. And it's coming to an end pretty soon, just because of how much time it takes to go through all of these. I'm probably gonna do the rest of this off camera, just so I can kind of slow down and make sure I'm doing everything correctly. But you kind of get the idea that it's good to balance out, like give yourself plenty of armor, give yourself plenty of shields, balance it with power, make sure that you got all your tech where it needs to be, and so I'm just gonna bump this up, take care of all the tech, and I'm kind of bleeding energy right now, but that's gonna change when I bump this up, bump this up, bump this up. Maybe not. Why am I bleeding so much power? This is so maybe this is just a bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. What I'll do is maybe I'll just swap this out, and then I'll well, just thinking, this ship might not have as much power, not as much armor as the other ones. Because I can't get rid of this one. So now we're at a surplus of power, and I replaced that by just
debris
cutting this down and cutting this down, and there we go. I actually have to do a research to improve our combat computer as well. That's a tech that's I think that's available that I haven't gone into yet, because I've been so focused on boosting our weapons and energy. So that'll be there's so much technology, and you really have to choose what you are and are not going to prioritize. And that's why I'm always so research focused and so science focused with my species. Because there's just so much that you have to know that you're doing, and there's so many options. You really customize your species to what your preferences are, And so it's having research bonuses improves your flexibility with your ship types. So I get to go to this one now, and I'm gonna try to do the same thing. Give us some armor. For the Storm class, I think the Storm class is actually doing pretty good. I think I already gave them the most advanced shields beforehand, so there's not as much I have to do with these guys. But I do have to end this episode pretty soon, because I knew that was going to go off pretty soon. So let's see if 2, 3. Yep, apparently I'm going to need just short by a tiny bit. So what I might do again is
debris analyzed.
Still that 5%. That silly little 5%. It's kind of the difference between whether or not this I can save this or not. You know what? What I might do here is I do want this ship to have a little bit more armor. Because this is a very combat focused ship, so I might actually reduce the shields by a tiny bit.
Analyzed.
And then the next time this research completes, I'll bump that up, and we'll be kind of even. And I have to give them, of course, their crystal infused plating, increase their hull points, increase their longevity in combat. And I think this is another reason why you have to be careful about how many ship designs you create, because every time if you create a ship design, then every time you have to upgrade it, it actually I already upgraded that design. Yeah. Every time you upgrade your technology, you have to upgrade every single ship class depending on the kind of ships you design. So it's kind of micromanagey. Now you also have the option of clicking auto upgrade, but sometimes when they auto upgrade, it hurts you. For instance, they'll auto upgrade the fusion reactor, and then you'll be using a lot more power, like excess power of like 20 or 30 or 40. And sometimes the excess power can go towards your shields when they restore themselves, but also that excess power will sometimes just drain your economy, drain your energy balance, because maintenance, you have to maintain all that energy when you're flying around. So you'll see someone with a really big fleet, and as soon as they leave the spaceport, like, they have no energy, and they could be getting like 200, 300, 400 minerals a month, energy credits a month. But if their maintenance on their ships, as far as energy, is like completely
debris analyzed,
out of control because they use so much power, then they can barely do anything. They can barely go to war because their fleets are using too much power. And you can try to do things like certain tech will like the engineering bays, and make sure all your ships are created with engineering bays to reduce the maintenance, and have logistician for an admiral. But okay, now down here, but it's still it really hurts. It really hurts you when you have like ginormous expenses for your energy. So I've got that. I'm just gonna upgrade all of these, and then I'll upgrade these, and I think I might. This ship doesn't have any armor, so I'm tempted to do I need 1400 shields? Maybe. But what if I did this? What if I did this? What if I did this? Now it hurts my shields, because I had like thousands worth of shields, and now I don't. No, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to how it was beforehand. So I had excess. So what I'll do is, I think I'll just replace one of these. We need to have a little bit more armor, so those shields are good, and then we'll worry about the it's good to have, again, more shields, but I don't want to deny the benefits of having some extra armor. And each of these creates 100 power. So I'll just reduce this down to one of these. Alright, then bump this one up to here. Great. It gives me an excess power of 15. I have at least 1,000 shields on this ship. I'm just gonna see how many shields I had on the Storm class. 700.
Research
Okay.
complete.
And they have
Debris
armor.
analyzed.
Deciding between armor and shields is tough because I like having my ships with a lot of shields because it's a lot harder to penetrate to get to the hull. But if you have a species you're going up against that are pretty strong against shields, then you have no armor, then you're left vulnerable. So that's. I think I actually forgot to. I think I forgot to upgrade the sensors on the other ship. I'll just have to go back to that. Research complete on the regenerative hull tissue. I didn't even have to do that research because they, the other guys did the research, and I just studied the debris. I'm just gonna pause this for a second. This is excellent, but I'm actually gonna have to end this episode and go back now. Because I was waiting to do that research later, and since it's done it, I'm gonna have to go back and touch on some of those ships again. And for those slots that have like crystal infusion, if there are 2 A slots, I'm gonna do like one of them's gonna be crystal, one of them's gonna be regenerative hull tissue, and it repairs 2% a month, and that's good. So that's gonna take a little bit more time, and so I'll see you guys next time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God be with you.